back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library. I'm coming up with my own song because I am like TJ Miller's character from this movie.
Just like TJ Miller from this movie specifically, that's it.
Yay, me! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm Jeff, and the semi-apparently lately singing one between the two of us. And then joining me forever, who we've already heard, the fan favorite, everyone's favorite, my favorite, TC. Hello, TC.
Hey, Jeff. Here we are.
Here we are.
We're back for another.
Wow. Back for another. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, and I don't mean to start off on a sad note, but I got up the list, the Wikipedia list of all the movies here before we started recording, and I scrolled all the way down the bottom, and I went, "Oh no, they're so close to the end," and I got kind of sad, and a little sad.
But we'll lament that when we get there. For now, where are we?
Exactly. For now, we are at number 54 on the list. 54. That's insane, TC. Cannot believe how many of these we've done. You've actually done more episodes on this podcast than I have.
It's true. I did do a few bonus episodes. 3 bonus episodes, I think. Yeah.
You are the Wikipedia Brown from Mr. Sunday Movies, or from the Weekly Planet, where you've actually done more episodes than I have, and I'm quote unquote the host. I guess I don't know.
You are.
It's a shared responsibility.
I'm just here to join you.
You're just here to join me and say all the good stuff. I am over here quietly in the corner. Is all.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if maybe I don't have anything good to say about today's movie. Well, TBD.
Oh, wouldn't that be fascinating if you didn't have anything good to say? Anyways, number 54, 2014's Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6. Oh, that's right. A strange
TC.
Title that
I know, right?
that makes no sense because it's never said in the movie. I guess there are 6 of them, so that works. But anyway, what were you going to say? You started to say something.
No, but that's a really good point. I remember when I first heard this movie was coming out. I was a little confused because I was trying to figure out what the crap this movie was, basically. I didn't know. I don't know Big Hero 6. We're coming off of Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen was the last movie I knew of, and I was already kind of like, okay, Disney is just gone at this point. And then when I'm like, Big Hero 6, what is this going to be about? It sounded like some little kiddie, like silly kid action movie is what it kind of felt like to me.
Yeah, like something in the vein of Spy Kids, maybe, possibly.
Yes, yes.
I knew that there was a Marvel connection, so my curiosity going into it was, is this a Marvel Cinematic Universe film?
True.
Because it's a Marvel comic, so will this be set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Am I going to see an animated Robert Downey Jr. show up at some point? So that was my curiosity going into it.
Which, it's funny because while you watch this movie, you can continue going, is this part of the universe? I cannot tell because, first off, like right off the bat, this movie is first. It's a huge departure from anything Disney has ever done, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like
certainly,
Disney has done their adventure films and obviously their fantasy, their fairy tales. We've seen movies that have had good jokes in them with some good action set pieces. We go back to Treasure Planet and kind of like Atlantis, where those movies have good action pieces, or like Lilo and Stitch, where the final act is kind of a big, chase action sequence.
Certainly, and Tangled, of course.
Right. So we've had those moments before, but watching this film and watching it under the guise of knowing, like, this is a Marvel property, while no, it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right, it is not.
It is not, but you could watch it and you could, in your head, it finishes and you go, well, yeah, that could easily have been in the Marvel Universe. Like, it is a Marvel, it's a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just made by Disney.
Watching this, looking at it from the perspective of having watched this entire library, thinking now how we're in this revival era of the Disney animation library, and also that Disney, as we've been discussing in the past few episodes, Disney is finding its voice. This does not feel like a Pixar movie at all, and I mean that in a good way, but I can't pinpoint what it is that makes this so significantly not a Pixar movie. Because Wreck-It Ralph, we discussed, had a Pixar quality to it where Brave, from our memory, kind of doesn't. and so it's a weird little switcheroo for that year of films. But
Right.
Frozen definitely feels like a Disney musical, but I can't really pinpoint what it is about Big Hero 6 that it's not Pixar, and not in a bad way, because a lot of the Pixarisms probably would have helped something like Frozen be a stronger film.
Right.
This one does not feel like a Pixar movie, and I don't know why.
You know what? You know what though? I was seeing. Here's my okay. So here's my big thing. Like I know a lot of like. So obviously, just for the record, this isn't a Pixar movie. It just has a lot of the people who usually worked with Pixar
Sure, it's
putting their
Lasseter.
hands in it.
Yeah,
Right.
Lasseter's obviously in charge of both departments, and he's bringing people from both teams and putting them together to make these. So I don't want to say stylistically or technically it doesn't have some Pixar stuff to it, because it certainly does. But as far
Right.
as like narrative is concerned, as far as these characters are concerned, I can't really think of anything comparable to Pixar. And I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the one thing though that I will say about it that I noticed while watching it, especially coming off of Frozen. First off, okay, I'm not gonna bash Frozen anymore in this. Well, I might a little bit, but that was last week's episode. But coming off of Frozen and watching the way that that movie was structured, the way that the story was told, the way that it was paced, for that matter, compared to Big Hero 6, Big Hero 6 has a ton of just quiet moments where characters are
certainly
figuring things out, where there's obviously an emotion that's running through their head, where there are long, and not in a bad way, but there are long beats that I find myself watching and relating to the character more because they focused on just the nonverbal cues of the character's face. And it's that sort of thing that, to me, that makes it feel more like a Pixar movie. I think that, to me, is what is Pixar about this film.
I can agree with that. Yeah, this movie, this Big Hero 6 has more of a maturity to it.
Yes.
It definitely doesn't feel as calculated as Frozen does. We discussed last week, and obviously I'm going to try to do like you as well and not try to bash Frozen, but it's worth comparing the two in that Frozen feels like a very calculated film. What's going to make us the most money? What's going to appeal to the most people? This Big Hero 6 feels more mature. It feels like they are taking a bit more risk in these kind of characters, in this kind of universe, telling this kind of story. And this might feel odd, and you can disagree with me if you'd like. But there's something about this movie that feels much closer to Tangled spiritually than Wreck-It Ralph or Frozen. If I could compare it to anything, it would be like the Cornetto trilogy. If you go from Shaun of the Dead to Hot Fuzz, they're not sequels, but there's something about them. It's because it's Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. But aside from that, they are thematically and structurally siblings, and we can discuss in the theory section some tangled connections that this movie may or may not have. But Big Hero 6, from a structure point of view, from the character's perspective, or the looking at the characters, it feels much closer to a successor of Tangled than Wreck-It Ralph or Frozen did.
Right. And that's one of the things that I had noticed. Now, I know last week, I'm not going to keep doing it, but I know last week you had, I just can't help it because a bunch of my notes were, in fact, comparing it to like the last handful of films we've seen.
Right.
When we watched Tangled, I know we brought it up. Tangled is just beautiful. There's a quality about the characters, the way that it's lit, filmed, the way that the characters themselves are animated, because there's lots of these fantastic little subtle nuances that the characters, ticks and stuff.
Yeah, the way they blink, or the corner of their lip curls, or the way their hands do a thing. Yes, and
Tangled does it fantastic.
And I had said last week the animation on Frozen felt a little stiff. There's such a fluidity to Big Hero 6, and then that's another element that I'm using to compare it as a successor to Tangled, in the movement of the characters and the acting, the performances of these characters, even in those subtle moments, like you said, which this movie does have. There's a quality of this movie of Big Hero 6 that feels, in this rewatching. So actually, back up a minute here. I have seen this before. I did see it in theaters. I have watched it on video, so I've seen it twice before. Did you get to see it when it was in theaters, or did you see it in video?
I've only ever seen it at home, and unfortunately,
Okay.
the rest of this list is that way for me.
That's
where I haven't seen any of these in theaters. Though in hindsight, I would have loved to have seen Big Hero 6 in the theaters. I think that would have been a blast to have seen.
The flying sequences in particular, right? I often discuss with fellow film geeks the why do you need to see this movie on the big screen? Not Big Hero 6 specifically, but
Right.
when a movie comes out, why do you need to see this movie on the big screen? Big Sick, great movie from 2017. Do you need to see that on the big screen? No, there's nothing. It's a fantastic film, but there's nothing about it that requires you to see it on the big screen. Lord of the Rings, if you didn't get to see it in theaters, you kind of missed out on the scope of this movie, right? And Big Hero 6 in those flying sequences and the exploring the world that Hero does with Baymax in those sequences, that's something that's meant for a big screen. Well, I know there's where did I see it? Someone tweeted at me, or I saw that little bit of trivia that this world that they built, San Francisco, is bigger than Frozen's universe, Wreck-It Ralph's universe, and Tangled's universe combined. Like all the maps that they created for the world.
Which is pretty insane. But I mean, you watch those flying sequences, you watch any kind of establishing shot. I mean, okay, that is San Francisco. And I mean, I've been to San Francisco one time, but just from my memory and photographs I've seen of the place, and I can compare it to their skyline, it doesn't look like it's not like a GTA condensed version, like a Grand Theft Auto, like, oh, this is kind of New York, but it's
Right.
kind of condensed, and we're putting all the big things together and we're getting rid of areas. You look at that flying sequence and you go, yeah, that looks like that's about the right distance between what the actual like those two actual locations in real world San Francisco are. And that was all, unfortunately, that's all I was doing for like a half of those flying sequences.
I've been there.
Was just awing.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been to that one. Oh, I've been to that one. I know where that is. Wow, that actually is the right amount. Like, that's all I was geeking out about for a while. But I could see that. I could see how it could very well be bigger than those worlds that we've seen, because it's one giant city. They made a city for this movie.
They might as well just port over the city for something like Kingdom Hearts or Disney Infinity. Because if you look back at traditional animation, if you go way back when, particularly Hanna-Barbera, if I may pick on anyone, the cycling backgrounds. You get them in Looney Tunes, you matte paint a background that's from point A to point B, and then you just loop it. So when a character is running for their life, you can just see the same door go by.
Right.
Because it's not about the background, it's about the characters doing their running gag. Hanna-Barbera was the most egregious for recycling animation that way. In this, if you look at the car chase sequence when they're running from the nanobots in Wasabi's car, and Go-Go takes over, they mapped out that entire route and rendered every bit of street from point A to point B. They did not recycle any backgrounds, and they didn't lazily blur anything. They built that environment. That is a lot of TLC for something that, no offense, but something that a normal moviegoer is not even going to take into a moment's consideration. But looking at it from our perspective, where we're being obviously a little critical about it, or being a little more engaged in something beyond the story, but the technicality of it, that's really impressive. And that, I've said it before, the little details, Wreck-It Ralph was a good example of that. The little details make the world bigger and better, and make the movie bigger and better.
Yep, the little details that are not necessarily in your face, but are there if you look for them. That's the stuff that I love when movies do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's animated or if it's live action. You want to put details and references in there, that's fine. Don't cram them in my face going, look, here's a reference. You know this reference, right?
Over here.
Yeah. Put it in the background. So like on my 200th viewing of the film, I go, holy cow, I didn't even know that was in the background. Did you see that?
He's got a toy Wreck-It Ralph on top of his computer. That's amazing.
Yep. Which
so
I guess, jumping the gun a little bit there, TC,
Yeah.
that means this movie is in that. That means Wreck-It Ralph is a video game inside of this movie's universe.
yes, yeah. Seriously, we need to make a map here.
We need to
to
make a
figure out
map.
which universes cross with which universes.
I really think that needs to be in our final episode because
think
I
so
think that'll
too,
just be
yeah.
fun. That'll be fun. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna. Okay, that is absolutely official. We are doing that, guys.
We are doing
I'm
it.
sorry.
So something that struck me about this movie and this viewing, so this will be the third time I've seen it, is, and this may play, it may be from the movies I've been watching recently or the Netflix series I've been watching recently, but Big Hero 6, narratively, structurally, the way the plot plays out, I feel has a bit of a retro feel to it. I can't say it's exactly like this, or this, but it has a vibe of Back to the Future and Tron and Last Starfighter and those classic sci-fi adventure movies. I don't know. I suppose, normally I'm a little better at articulating exactly what it is that makes me feel a certain way about something in a film. But, I don't know if it was they took a pretty standard hero's journey. If
Right.
you look at, if the monomyth, if you want Joseph Campbell's Hero with a Thousand Faces, for those of you who don't know plot structure, it is the end all be all plot structure, right? It's what all great fantasy and sci-fi and genre films are built upon, and the more you stray away from it, then you risk alienating audiences. But if you can successfully take that structure and find a unique way to deliver it, you can have successes, and that goes over the course of pretty much literature and film, but specifically film. Thank you, George Lucas.
Yes.
But it's not that this follows it to a T that I can put it side by side with something like Tron, Back to the Future, Last Starfighter, Star Wars, but the structure is there, and it's very uniquely played out. His brother. Hero's brother playing the mentor character that needs to die in order to progress the character or get that character to the threshold he denies, and the structure of breaking this into three pieces. I can recall when I first saw this, I thought it felt inconsistent in that it was like this first part, and then suddenly the bad guy is this, and then we have the third act climax where they're fighting on over the Institute. It felt disjointed, but now watching it, the foreshadowing for everything is there from the get-go. All the details are threaded together really nicely. Some of them are in your face, right? Some of them, if you go as simple as the powers that the characters all used, all their tech, is just versions of the tech they're building in the first 10 minutes of the movie, right?
Right.
But something more subtle is Cray, Alistair Cray and Callahan talking to each other, and Callahan saying, "Hero, you do not want to work with this guy. He cuts corners." It feels like a throwaway line of dialogue, but that is literally the catalyst for why Callahan is the bad guy.
Which spoilers for that. But which
sorry,
we've already discussed. No. We've already discussed that there's spoilers in these movies, so no one, you can't listen to this if you don't want to know.
Right.
But I will say though, my first viewing, while there is those little bits and pieces that are foreshadowing really well, I did not know who the villain was going to be. Mm-hmm. I kept guessing through the whole film. I guess initially in my head, I'm sitting there going like, okay, so it's sorry, what is Alan Tudyk's character? Cray.
Yeah.
Cray, yeah. I'm like, okay, it's
Tudyk
Cray.
watch.
As
He's not Baymax. I thought
He's not
Alan
Baymax.
Tudyk was Baymax. Instead, it's Scott Adz, who's not Frank. He was from
30 Rock.
30 Rock, yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
You thought, okay, go.
But I'm like, because you're sitting there going like, okay, that's obviously the bad guy, because the good guy can't potentially be Callahan, because he understood, Hero, he saw Hero's ability, and he's like, no, you need to come here, you need to work with us. Like I come up with all these great abilities, so I'm like, oh, it's not him. But then once they introduce the concept of Callahan's daughter. Being like sucked into that other dimension, I'm sitting there going, oh, maybe that's her. Maybe she's gone weird, and that's like her the entire, or like something, Like there's all these little bits and pieces that, because I don't think you knew it was, you didn't know it was Callahan yet at that moment, right?
No,
Isn't
when
that's still a
the
secret?
first time we see the Abigail Callahan, the test pilot, go through the portal, we don't know her last name. It's
Right.
after they've fought Callahan or the Man in the Mask the first time, then they fail, and they are, oh my gosh, it was his daughter. Like that revelation leads into the final confrontation, and they piecemeal out those details rather nicely. There's something about this movie, and actually, it's just striking me now. It's a convention that I feel like Harry Potter popularized. Every Harry Potter book, and therefore every Harry Potter movie, is a mystery movie. It happens to have wizards. It happens to be a young adult story. It happens to also follow the monomyth. But when it comes down to it, it's a mystery. And from that perspective, Big Hero 6 is a mystery because it's a matter of who is this villain, and let's follow the clues in order to uncover his identity. And now let's figure out why he is the way he is, and then let's figure out how we stop him. That's every Harry Potter book.
Right. Yeah. That's a good comparison. Wow.
Yeah.
I've read all of those books. I never even thought about that.
But it's done well. Again, the first time I saw this, I was pretty disappointed by this movie. Maybe it was because it didn't have the Marvel connection. Maybe my expectations were wrong. And rewatching it today, I found a new appreciation for it. That could very well be because we've been watching these movies in the order we've been watching them in, as frequently as we've been watching them. It may be that I'm looking at details a little differently, but the movie played much more differently this time than it did the first time. Because I walked out of that first one. It's funny, I mentioned last week Frozen was my favorite movie of 2013. For 2014, Big Hero 6 was my biggest disappointment movie. And I really think that was a matter of expectations. That I approached it probably with the wrong attitude. And now having been so far away, been away from it for a couple of years and gone back to it, I found all these new things to appreciate about it.
Well, and I see. So one of the biggest things that I love, because I loved this movie the first time I watched it. I really thought it was hilarious, down to the point where I watched it with my nieces, and the fist bump that Hero and Baymax does
Oh, yes.
was something that me and my nieces did all the time. And we haven't done it lately, but we did it for years, like for at least 3 or 4 years. I guess 3 years, because this came out in 2014. So
Yeah.
we did it just every time we saw each other, we'd fist bump and we just do la 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 la. Like that's all we ever did. Because of this movie. So I fell in love with Baymax because there is, and I noted it this time that, first off, he's a perfect character. I love the character of Baymax. I love the performance that Scott Adsit did. I never know how to pronounce his last name. Adsit? Adst. It sounds like I'm sneezing or I got like a thing in my nose. But like, I love exactly. I love the performance he does. He has the absolute perfect tone to his voice for this character, and
I like when he's low powered.
Yes,
skinny,
low
Harry,
energy,
kitty.
Harry
baby. Yeah.
We jumped out a window.
Baymax is a phenomenal character. It's
because he's all physical. There's and this is the thing that I realized. He has no face. The only face he has is a slit that's kind of his nose ish, maybe his mouth. And then these two black dots, no pupils, no nothing else, just black dots that can blink.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get a character to convey emotion, can contain, or like he conveyed his low energy mode. Obviously, that's an analogy for him being drunk. That's what they're kind of being, you know.
Certainly.
But it's so well done because like his eyes blink out of sync just ever so slightly when he's in low energy mode. That alone is enough to convey an emotion.
I love the moment when he pulls the medical chip out of him, so he's just the fight chip, and his eyes go red. It's a very Iron Giant kind of feeling moment, which is perfectly fine with me. But for how he has no features, and he's able to convey in his physicality, in Scott Adams' voice, and those two eyes so much. Baymax is a phenomenal feat of animation, especially now. The CG animation, even, because I criticized when we transitioned from 2D to CG that perhaps there's something lost in that, and I feel that over the course of these past few movies they have rediscovered how to do very Looney Tunes 2D style animation with the CG characters, because they're I like when Hero falls between the bed and the shelf, and his hand and feet keep going up, and he's squished back there. There is a lot of, and this is another I feel Tangled-ism, that the physical comedy is very animated. It's very cartoony, like Tangled is, and it works. It feels very nice.
It doesn't feel out of place, even though they're trying to establish in the movie that this is an alternate real world, which, for those of you who don't know, the story behind it is the fact that is this an alternate world where after the 1906 earthquake destroyed most of San Francisco, it was the Japanese and Chinese immigrants that helped rebuild the city, which is why they rebuilt it with a lot of their aesthetics over the years, and that's why it became San Francisco, I think is how they pronounced it.
Is that the in-movie history, or is that from the comics?
Nope, that's from John Lasseter and all them. That was their background story for why the character did it. Because when Lasseter came on, this is not a location that was in the comics. I haven't read the comics, so please, I'm not an expert, but I know this much about it. Right. They wanted to create a brand new location for the movie just to kind of help separate it a little bit. Plus, they also created new versions of the characters and backstories and all that stuff. So it's loosely based on the Marvel comic. But they created this whole brand new thing, and they just thought the design aesthetic would make the city look, kind of cooler than it already is. Because San Francisco is a really pretty city.
Oh yeah,
I really do. I really think it's a pretty city.
And it is. I have been there twice myself, and both occasions have had pretty surreal experiences appreciating the landscape. But something I appreciate is that the three lead animators on this were all Asian American, or possibly just Asian.
Oh, nice.
The designers for the film. And that's great because, there's always that risk of cultural appropriation, or that being shouted at someone for I guess if we want to look at Princess and the Frog, there's the accusation that they culturally appropriated black culture of New Orleans of that era, and it was just a bunch of white people's opinions about how that should be. Not trying to make a whole thing of it, but that is a risk.
Right.
So to bring on... this is worth discussing, because Disney's made this mistake in the past with stuff like Pocahontas or like Princess and the Frog or Mulan. There's that risk of, if you're going to deal with a culture, bring some of those people of that culture in to help you develop it appropriately. And Big Hero 6, very appropriately, I feel, especially having those three lead animators being of Asian descent. That's great. That's good. That is how you achieve subtle things that, if you're not a part of that culture, you never would have thought of. So kudos to them. Even the voice acting is appropriate to the nationality of this very multicultural cast. You have Hiro and Tadashi, and their aunt, who's mixed, is voiced by Maya Rudolph, who's mixed race. You have Genesis Rodriguez, who voices Honey Lemon, whatever.
Yeah, I was just trying to find. Honey Lemon. You're right.
Honey Lemon. Okay, good.
Yep.
I was going to say Honey Bucket, but Honey Bucket means something else.
But I mean, even at the same time, it's a nice mixed bag of actors. Like you have Damon Wayans Jr., we still have T.J. Miller, we've got, James Cromwell and Alan Tudyk. So there's a nice, and then obviously we have Stan Lee, but we have, it's a nice mixture. It's a half and half, maybe a little bit more over one or the other. But yeah, it's a great mixture of different nationalities doing the voices in it. So it's not just a bunch of white people doing all the voices in this town that's obviously half, Asian, half American mix from years and years of generations,
Right. And the voice cast is good. I really nothing what's a good way to put it? I feel like this goes right to a script level because this is such a well-written movie, and I feel like the performances don't feel like, for example, Wreck-It Ralph, where all those four main characters, they have the isms of the performers in them, and that's not a knock. I love that Sarah Silverman is Vanellope and that Jane Lynch is Calhoun. Like I love that about those characters, John C. Reilly and Jack McBrayer as well. Whereas this, these voice actors are the characters, and I don't feel like maybe T.J. Miller does a little too much riffing.
Yeah, which I feel like that's just him. I feel like that's him in everything he does. He always does and I don't mind T.J. Miller by all means, despite anything the man might have done in his. I don't care. As an actor, I do enjoy him. He is funny to me, but there is always a point where I'm like, oh, please just shut up for a minute. I need you to stop talking. Yes,
but it just verged that point, maybe in a couple spots, and I really honestly, if I think of the character, man. Yeah, he's my least favorite character in the movie, but not like I don't dislike him like I have disliked other sidekick characters. But when you have Baymax, who's just one of the best characters we've seen in this entire library of films,
yes,
and one of the best characters of this modern era, and then you have Hero himself, our main character, who goes on this journey, is a pretty neat character. I was trying to think in terms of my revival theory that the characters need to find a way to change themselves as opposed to the world changing. I don't think Hero necessarily, at least in large strokes like previous characters, this might go to Tangled again in that he's pretty consistent and just figures out how to use his strengths to save the day in the end. He doesn't have to go through a huge change. Emotionally, he does, of course.
Yes, I was going to say, the closest that he's going to come to is, which I mean, isn't how he is at the beginning of the film. It's not until, dang nabbit, why do I always forget his name? The brother, Tadashi. It's not until he dies that that Hero's character changes, but it's more just emotionally upset and angry. And it's not until, obviously it's not until he finds out or finds the recorded footage of him inside of Baymax that he then turns to be good again. Yeah. So, or not he never turns to be bad, but he
just goes through a very emotional roller coaster.
Right. So that is a good point that he is probably, this is the film that has the least amount of character development or character journey or arc to it, especially compared to the ones we've seen before, like Tangled and all those, where it's a very clear arc that changes.
Right. Another movie that this is, I think, comparable to is Bolt. There is elements of, not a lot of comparison, but just in the...
It's okay. Bolt's inside the same universe, so it's fine.
Oh, Bolt takes place in the Big Hero 6 universe?
Yep, because first off, it's one of the same pigeons near the end when there's that pigeon gag.
You're gonna say the pigeon is one of the okay.
Yes. Also connecting it to Bolt, if it's one of those things where it's like if you look closely on the police officer's desk when Hero and Baymax go to the police officer to report the guy with the mask.
Right.
On the police officer's desk is a photograph of the female police officer from Bolt. The big heavy one when they're trying to escape from, or not police officer, I think it was the animal shelter.
Animal control.
When they're trying to, it's her. She's on his desk.
Okay.
So
like
there's it's a very thin, but there's the theory that this takes place in that same world. Maybe around the same time. It's kind of hard to say because obviously there's no like flying cars in Big Hero 6. They're all still vehicles driving around. Not like it.
I don't think there were flying cars in Big Hero 6.
No, there's not. Sorry, that's what I was saying. Like it's not like there is, which means it's not like way in the future. Like it could very well be taking place in the same time as Bolt. But yeah, that's that was the other fan theory / connection is that this is that Bolt and Big Hero 6 are in the same quote unquote realistic universe because there are connections between them.
You know what? That's it. I'm gonna make a whiteboard. We're gonna figure this out.
We're gonna make a whiteboard. We're gonna start writing everything down. We're gonna have to go back through all of the movies before we do that final episode, guys. We might have to take a couple weeks off before the final episode just so we can plan things.
Something I'll criticize this movie for. This is a minor criticism, but I feel like it's a weird thing that they didn't do I'm going to fact check this as I say it. They never said dead. Tadashi's dead. My daughter is dead. They just kept saying gone.
So it's that little thing that originally threw me off as to I didn't know there was also a part of me where I was waiting for Tadashi to be the villain.
Yeah, yep. I would say my first viewing of it, I did have it must have been something else had come out that year that had me thinking that. But yeah, I was there too.
See, because I read into the movie too much, going along those lines of like what you said. First off, we never saw Tadashi's body. Obviously, they had a funeral, but we never saw his body. And then when Baymax goes, but Tadashi is here. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in my head, I went, oh, his sensors are picking him up. Like, in my head, that's where I went. Not Tadashi is here, as in his memory is here because I'm here. Plus, I also have video of him. Mm-hmm. I didn't go that route. So I kept going, no, Tadashi's here. Yeah, he's gonna be the villain too, isn't he?
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, like I don't know how, but he's gonna be the bad guy, and obviously it wasn't.
They only say dead once, and it's when Baymax is asking about Tadashi, and he's like, Tadashi's gone. Oh, when will he return? No, he's dead, Baymax. But Tadashi was in excellent health, that whole sequence. That's the only time in the movie they say dead. And, again, this is a very minor complaint, but the fact that I feel like they watered down some of the emotional impact of saying, so my daughter's dead, or Tadashi is dead. Like, only saying it the one time. I suppose, on the other hand, you could say, oh, well, that's why it's a significant moment that he says it out loud. Maybe that's the first time he says it. I don't know. Small complaints. Just something I noticed in this time around that I was like, hey, come on. They killed Flynn on screen. They've killed characters on screen in these movies.
Right.
It felt a little watered down.
I will say, going along those same lines, and as a complaint about me, or a complaint from me about this film, after Tadashi dies, that little montage, which lasts all of, I don't know, maybe a minute, of the realization that Tadashi's gone, here's his funeral, now everything's sad, boom, we're done. And we kind of just move on, feels a little rushed, and I feel like, of all the time in this movie where they let things breathe and let the pacing, let there be a good pacing and good pauses and let the characters kind of just have moments, that sequence just kind of felt like almost a blink and you'll miss it. Like I was watching it, I looked down to write some notes, I looked up and it was halfway through the panning shot of the funeral, and then we were out of the funeral, and I thought I missed like a couple of minutes of the film because I felt like they could have just not lingered on it too long, not to milk the emotion out of it, but I thought they could have just done a little bit more with that to really cement the audience in with where Hiro's mind is, with just the fact that he just lost his brother.
Yeah, I could see. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. They probably could have played with that a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
I do think what's there is effective, and perhaps it was a matter of like, let's keep this train a rolling here. If we take too much time, we're going to lose the audience.
Right.
So yeah, I see where you're coming from there. I don't know. This movie is a lot of fun. When I sat down to watch it, I wasn't sure. I didn't really have any thoughts one way or the other. It was just, okay, another movie we're almost to the last of this library. Big Hero 6, here we go. I didn't love it. Like I said, I was disappointed by it the first time I saw it. I had seen it another time very casually, but sitting down and watching it this time, I was really engaged by it. I was really impressed by the look of it and the performances in it and the structure of the plot as well. That I even have like very little notes, which is a good sign because I didn't want to look away.
One more praise that I got to give about this film, not to just real quick. We mentioned it briefly, but I love the design of the villain.
Oh yeah, the nanotechnology. Is that like the big thing now? Like if you look at like eras of movies, it was like, oh, the Cold War, look out for the Russians, and then it was like, you get the September 11th era, the 2001 era. It's like, okay, the Middle Eastern people are that's the enemy,
like the terrorists as they're going to show up, and now it's
AI
nanotech.
Is the enemy, nanotech is the enemy, right?
Yep. It's just a natural evolution. But I love the way the character looks. I love the fact, again, much like where Baymax has no facial expressions and he can still emote somehow through just his voice. The physical emoting that the villain does, up until you know who he is, and even after you know kind of who he is, he still does it. He still has it. Now there's just a voice behind the mask.
Right.
But it's the way the character looks, it's the way they light him, the way that he holds his body and he walks, and I love the kind of flowy black trench coat, and I love the very determined like hand gestures of like throwing his hands around, kind of almost Sith like, like I feel a little force powery like motions with the hands, but it's such a great character. And every time he was on screen as the villain with the mask on, prior to knowing who it was, I never wanted to look away. I loved watching that character. I want to make a character like that.
I just want to cosplay as him, right?
Oh, that'd be great.
Although thinking about the villain, his motivations, is this unique? I had not thought of this until you brought him up as something to discuss here. His motivation is revenge.
Yep.
How many characters have we had that were out for revenge in terms of the villains? And I'm actually having a hard time thinking of any right now.
Did we? I thought we had another one. I thought we had discussed this once before recently, that we had a villain. Hold on, let me look through the movies. Everybody who's at home right now listening is
yelling at us like, it's this one. He's out for revenge. He's a neat character in his motivation. His design is fantastic, and he's such a seriously the good guy is a completely white character, right? It's Baymax. He's a white marshmallow, and the bad guy is this very angular black colored character, and it's hero villain, right? If you go through the standards of Lone Ranger whatnot.
Was it Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah, there you go. That would be revenge,
right? Because I feel like that was because we talked about this once before for Bowler Hat Guy, and I feel like that was our talking about how it's pretty much that was our first villain that was just out for revenge, because everybody else has all either got is just bad for being bad, or whatever, as long
vanity,
or just,
you've got power, wanting a desire for power, jealousy. We've had several characters of this, just complete, I just want a puppy coat, right? There's that kind of villain, right?
Yep. But I wonder what that one is. I don't.
So I guess he's not the first, but it is a unique villain in that you kind of can see where he's coming from, right?
Right.
He's doing things the wrong way, but he does have pretty darn good reasons why he's doing what he's doing.
Yep. He's not just doing it because he can do it. He's doing it because, as far as he knows, his daughter's dead.
Yeah.
And gone.
He did get what he wanted. Yes, he's going to jail for the rest of his life, but his daughter is alive, and that's all that matters to him. There's the last shot of him, I'm just remembering now, is great. He's in the police car, and he looks, non-verbally, right? The reflection of her going into the ambulance and the door shutting, that's a great shot. That's very cinematic. It's something you wouldn't see in maybe of the old. Probably wouldn't be able to animate a certain way in the past. One of the benefits of CG is being able to do these much more cinematic, live action camera movements and details like that. Yeah,
and get those realistic reflections to light the scene the correct way, so that way you can see her in the window. Yeah, that's something that. It would have been, they could have done it. They probably would have gone the route of the old school way where windows in cars were just like solid mirrors unless they opened them up,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they might have gotten something like that to symbolize or just to showcase that shot, but it wouldn't have been nearly as well done as what they had done in this film.
It's interesting. We're talking about Baymax and Cray being the villain here. No, not Cray. Callahan being the villain, Hero being a cool character. In the grand scheme of things, though, are these characters memorable? It's really strange because these are not characters that I have forgotten how much I liked Baymax. I will often think of Rapunzel or Flynn, like they pop into my consciousness from time to time. I think the cultural impact of obviously Elsa, but of characters is far more significant over Big Hero 6. Why? What is it about Big Hero 6 that strangely enough, it's one of the highest grossing Disney movies of all time. And yet, where's the cultural impact behind it? That's a very strange phenomenon that I'm just now is now dawning on me. That as cool as these characters are, why don't we think of Callahan as one of the best villains? Why don't we think of Baymax as one of the best sidekicks?
That's a good point.
I don't have an answer, and I don't.
I don't have an
you
answer
as well.
for it either. No, because it's true. Because I mean, I love the character Baymax, and like I said, the whole fist bump thing was something that me and my nieces did for ages after we watched this film.
Yeah,
and like I quoted for a while. I used to quote, Harry baby. I like that line.
Harry baby,
just baby, Harry baby. Just the way he says it.
Could it be that? Could this be an example of why it's bad to release a movie a year? That you don't allow a movie to digest in the consciousness of the pop culture, that we're immediately moving on to the next one? Could that be
possible?
Could this be an effect of that? Because think of Marvel fatigue apparently is never going to settle in, but you get a Marvel movie,
it will just suddenly one day.
Yeah, every 3 to 5 months we get another Marvel movie, and you would think that would affect how people feel about it, right? Like, enough of this. One would argue that there's Star Wars fatigue setting in with how these movies are coming out annually now. So perhaps the releasing a movie a year that Disney has been doing is causing the effect of them to be a little harder to I don't know. This is really me just off the cuff right now. So
no, that's a good point, because this is also the last movie we have on our list that was released yearly since Chicken Little. From Chicken Little in 2005 until Big Hero 6 in 2014, there was a Disney movie released at least once a year.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because Zootopia and Moana came out the same year, didn't they?
Yeah, it came out. They both come out in 2016. So, and now in my thinking is if we're trying to find some logical reasoning as to why these characters might not have, think about the fact that this came out after Frozen. Okay, Frozen came out in November of 2013 and was huge. Yeah. Was gigantic, and was so gigantic that it just never stopped being big.
Still going.
Yeah, and to the point where I'm trying to look real quick here to see when did it come out? When did Frozen come out on home video? So it was there. Starting from that. Okay, hold on. And then 2014 was released. Oh, then they released Frozen again. It went wide in March.
April
76th. So I guess
with singing.
Okay, and then it was released. Okay, so Frozen was released on video for digital download in February of 2014, and then on video March of 2014. I think what potentially could have happened. I mean, it was still 7-8 months beforehand, but maybe the world was just kind of still so caught up in Frozen that Big Hero 6 came out and it was well received and people went and saw it, but Frozen's still happening and people are still talking about Frozen and it's still a thing.
Yeah, well, maybe.
And it just unfortunately was, hey, this is great. Now back to the other thing we were talking about beforehand. I worry, I wonder if that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't have an actual.
I didn't. It just dawned on me as we're discussing it that it doesn't have the cultural impact as some of these other movies have had. I think that's unfortunate because this is a movie worth watching. This is a movie that I think if we have often discussed on this, what's a gateway movie? Like, could this be a gateway movie could Great Mouse Detective gateway you into Sherlock Holmes, right? And
right.
If you're somehow think that the Marvel movies are a little too intense for your kids, this would be a movie to introduce them to get them into the more intense films of the Marvel universe, which they could tend to be a little violent and a little more sexualized, just a little, and
just a little,
and maybe a little bit of language here and there. So it's a very tiny bridge. It's one of those little foot bridges you see over a stream that's more for aesthetic purposes. Like you could just step over the stream, but someone put a little bridge there. Yeah.
Like in Japanese gardens?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see what we did there, TC.
Totally deliberate. Yep.
Totally deliberate. Yep. We script this entire show, folks. We rehearse all week long. No, that's a very good point because this movie does. Like I said, I watched this film when I obviously I've been watching the Marvel movies in theaters. I think I've seen almost every one of them in theaters. Since Iron Man, and just it's what I've done. So like I know the movies, and we're going on 10 years now.
Yeah.
Which would have meant that when Big Hero 6 came out, we were like halfway through the last 10 the 10-year run of this film or the series. So I watch this movie now and I go, well, yeah, that just feels like a Marvel movie. It feels like it has the beats.
Yeah.
The beat of a Marvel cinematic film with, like you said, though, a little tamer, a little calmer, but still very good, very funny, very action-y. Actually, this movie actually kind of feels a little more like a modern Marvel film. Like the recent
a little
kind
more
of
tongue-in-cheek, Thor 3,
yeah,
Guardians
like,
of the Galaxy.
hey, we're not entirely taking ourselves as serious as we would have before, but this is easily a stepping stone into that more goofy Marvel films.
And I really do think that if you have a little one that likes superheroes, that likes adventures, like movies of this caliber, this is perfect. Pop this in. It's dynamic enough that I don't think you'd get annoyed by it. The closest they get to like, oh really, you're gonna play that song, is right before the montage. They start the Rocky song and they cut it off. As soon as it started, I was like, don't, please. I did not remember that this song was here. And then it stops. I'm like, yay! They're not going to play it.
Yep. Because that means even they were aware. They're like, well, come on. Okay. We should do this, but we're not actually going to do it. We're gonna. It's a misdirect.
We'll let DreamWorks do this sort of garbage.
Yeah, we don't do that.
And yes, folks, that's my obligatory DreamWorks jab.
It wouldn't be a podcast episode of the last 15 films without it, TC.
I am still very curious about, and maybe the listeners can sound off why they think this is the 13th highest grossing Disney film of all time. And
the only other
there's no impact. There's no impact. Like, what is it? Why is that?
The only other thing I could think of, because I was going through the list of Pixar films, because I was trying to figure out like maybe one of the actual Pixar movies came out and threw things off, but the closest one would have been Inside Out, which would have been the following summer.
Yeah.
Which at that point, again, this movie would have already been released on video and it would have already been doing its thing. It wouldn't have suffered a fate any less devastating of literally any other Disney movie from the last 15 years prior to it, because there's always a Pixar film or a Disney film being released within 6 months of each other.
Yeah.
Like that's how it goes.
Come to think of it, because they own everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Doing a little, I want to fact check whatever fact checking is due. Taking into account all the Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars movies, Big Hero 6 is the 42nd highest grossing Disney movie of all time. Just wanted to be, just to make sure I got my facts
just
straight.
Just want to be accurate. Yep. No, I get you. Get you. It makes total sense that that you'd want to double check yourself. That's funny, actually. So Guardians of the Galaxy had already been released by the time this movie came out. Wow.
Oh, jeez. Everything's so muddled, Jeff.
It is. Oh, this just makes my head hurt.
If you don't mind, I think it's time to jump over to Facebook and see what some of our listeners have to say about this.
I definitely agree. While TC gets that real quick, there's one trope I just wanted to point out, because I would be missed if I didn't. Orphan protagonist.
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, Aunt Cass, right?
Yep.
Cass.
Yep. Cass.
Yeah, obviously they have a guardian, but it's not the mom or dad. And I was so mad because the villain started falling to his death and Baymax saved him, and I'm like, so close, Baymax.
Actually,
I thought I had him.
Before we get to discussing the comments, it's worth discussing the ending of this movie and Baymax's sacrifice. That Hero has to say goodbye to him and say goodbye to Tadashi by letting him go. Are you satisfied with the help? No, I can't. And that he has to let him go. It's a great sacrifice moment that really tugs at the heartstrings in the right way. It's a beautiful moment that he chooses to do pretty much exactly what Tadashi did, which is to go through the portal, to run into the fire, to save that one person, and to save a Callahan of all people, right?
Right. So yeah, to save somebody that he doesn't know doesn't matter because he's literally a hero in the sense of like literally
His name, right?
he is literally the hero that that is not thinking of himself anymore.
Yeah, it's such a great climax of the film, and sure, there's that. And actually, this is definitely a Marvelism that Baymax still is alive, right? That he can
Yep.
reboot into the.
Which, for the record, guys, I love Baymax. The fact that he died would have made me horribly sad. But then if he, like, finding the disc of his personality and me being able to recreate him,
Yeah.
I would make so many copies of that flipping disc.
You get a Baymax.
Just
You
for-
get a Baymax.
Yes.
You get a Baymax.
And just store them in different bank accounts all across the city, just so if anything happened to Baymax, I would, because that's a lucky thing that Baymax took his chip out
Yep.
and gave him the chip so that way he could be rebooted. That was just pure luck.
What a great moment. And I didn't. I
So well
remembered
done.
it as it was playing out, but I didn't remember how it had never affected me like it did this viewing of it. It's a great, beautiful moment. And as stated in my Wreck-It Ralph moment, I love Ralph's sacrifice at the end of that.
Yep.
Flynn also making the sacrifice for Rapunzel in Tangled. Oh boy, and Anna making her sacrifice. Have I found another trope with a revival era, Jeff?
Guys, I
Just
think
by
this
accident?
man, on accident, we found another trope for the last like 5 movies we've been watching
A character selflessly sacrificing themselves. Huh.
to save another character.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Dang nabbit, TC. What in the world?
Weird.
Because technically, like totally sacrificing himself, or they could still come back.
Totally sacrificing themselves because Flynn
Okay.
is going to die. Ralph's going to die. Baymax knows he's
Right.
dying.
Good point. Okay.
Anna
I was just gonna
didn't
say,
even
like,
think
'cause I'm-
twice. Yeah, they all selflessly sacrificed their very lives for. Oh man, I'm excited by the fact that revelation just hit us.
Where was this revelation like 4 episodes ago, guys? I can't believe we didn't see this.
You know,
I've
you
been
need
doing
it-
I have been doing tropes for a year and almost a year and a half now, and I didn't catch this until now. That's it, guys.
well,
I quit. I'm
there
gonna
you
do
go.
2 more episodes and I'm done. Okay.
All right, that's it. How about 3 though? How about 3 more episodes?
Gosh, fine. I guess I'll come. I'll phone in the 3rd one. All right, CC. Let's go over to the Facebook.
All right, cool.
You can-
So every
while
week
we do
before we
that.
record, we do throw up on Facebook here the episode we're going to be discussing, and
Yep.
Facebook.com/TopShelfPod. You can also tweet at me at TC's Big Head, and you can tweet at Jeff at Random Bell. So hitting up
Hi.
the Facebook page, we got there's some appreciation for this movie, which I'm happy to see here. Natasha says it's a nice change to see so much diversity among the characters. 100% agree on you with you there, and that characters value friendship, family, and hard work more than anything. I want Baymax in my life.
I do too, man. I would love to have an actual Baymax in my life right now. Are you kidding?
Yes, that'd be pretty awesome. And then she puts a little meme here. It's a shot of Baymax firing his fist. It says, "Oh, Hans." And then there's a statue of Hans from Tangled. We might as well discuss this. We should do a theory right now.
Yes.
If only there was someone out there who loved you. So apparently,
Now, is it Hans? Is it Hans from Frozen?
yes, it's Hans.
Okay.
And I've okay. So I saw this earlier. Someone also tweeted at me this theory
Okay.
that Tangled and Big Hero 6 take place in the same universe. That this is just a century after the fact. That Arendelle and whatnot. So Hans, since his statue is in Fred's garden, would mean
Right.
that Fred is a descendant of Hans. So man, it looks like Hans finally got that family he wanted.
Oh, about dang time.
So
he learned a lesson after the end of Frozen.
yeah, I guess, or he just found an evil woman. It's a little bit.
Somebody
It's
evil.
a Lucius Malfoy situation here. So that's the theory, that Tangled is connected to Big Hero 6. And there's 3 different ways that apparently people have theorized they connect. So Fred being a descendant of Hans, that's because of the way Aunt Cass celebrates, pushes her hair behind her head, and has an affinity for chocolate, that she is a descendant of Anna and Elsa. And there's a 3rd one, and I don't have it in front of me. But how do you feel about this, Jeff? Let's go with the Hans one first. Could you see that perhaps Fred and his rich family, which is, patriarch is Stanley at this point, is a descendant of Hans? Why else would they have a statue of him, aside from animators just putting Easter eggs? Do you subscribe to this theory? What do you think?
I mean, I guess I could see it. It's a long enough time frame between those movies and this movie that it's potential that is where the family gets their riches from because of the years of being kind of royalty and potentially marrying into other royalty. And we don't know what Hans did after the course of Frozen, like we just said.
He's
so
locked in prison probably, or at least sent back to his 12 brothers to beat him up.
Right, so we don't know. We don't know what happens. I mean, we probably won't know unless he's in the sequel, Frozen, which comes out in a year, but or 2 years. I don't know. I could kind of see that. It's a little thin, but there is some connective tissue there to make it kind of make sense.
Yeah, I like this one. I would have to really digest it to think to decide if we'll call this part of the theory, right? When we're making our red yarn whiteboard situation here, we'll take it into account.
I can't wait.
The Anna and Aunt Cass one, I don't subscribe to this.
That one feels a little too. That's too thin.
They
for me
celebrate
to
the same way. They wave the same cute way. I thought what the third one was. I'll get to that in this because someone else commented on it. The fact that she likes chocolate, like that's pretty loose. That's just coincidental. Someone really have to sell that pretty hard to me for me to subscribe to that one, but not as much as the third one, which is that Honey Lemon is a descendant of Rapunzel. So someone commented, let me just look real quick.
What?
I'm looking. Okay, it was from Wyatt.
Wyatt, how dare you? I thought we were called friends.
Is he the only one who thinks that Honey Lemon is a modern-day Rapunzel? She has the same mannerisms, design, and personality. Yes, they do have quite a few similarities here, but... And yes, I suppose through the course of relationships the world over, one could go from a very blonde-haired European Anglo-Saxon Rapunzel to a clearly Hispanic descent Honey Lemon.
I would believe Thomas's theory that Baymax is the secret weapon in Infinity War over that.
Thank you, Thomas. For that.
Thank you, Thomas.
And obviously, Wyatt, thank you for commenting on it as well. But I'm not going to subscribe. If any of these three theories of connecting it to the Frozen universe, which Tangled is connected to the Frozen universe, well, gosh darn it, if Hans is the descendant of Fred or vice versa, then Tangled automatically is connected because of their connection in the Frozen. Yep. So maybe not a Rapunzel descendant, but she's connected anyway if you subscribe to the Hans theory. So she's in there somehow.
There is a connection. We found a way.
Wyatt also says the sequence where Baymax and Hero fly over San Francisco is his favorite. It's such a cool sequence. I agree. Let's see. Chris Scholesy says, I had hopes for this film, though I felt ultimately disappointed by it. I found it to be... it was touted as part of the MCU, but then they... but like the Netflix and TV worlds, the connections... very little connections exist. The whole Pixar theory universe, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so, yes, I'm with you, Scholesy. I was disappointed that this didn't have a more direct connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Part of me is okay now. Now that I've rewatched it, I'm like, I'm fine it being its own thing. On the other hand, it would be neat if the post-credit stinger was an animated Nick Fury visiting Hero, right? Like, that kind of would have been neat. Or if Tony Stark showed up and was like, hey, I'm interested in your tech. There is a part of me that's like, oh, what a missed opportunity, because that would be something that the MCU has not done. Have an animated character be brought into the live-action universe. Like
Right.
for a spell, when it was all like, oh, how are we going to get the Fantastic Four back from Fox? I kept thinking, you know what? Screw that. Just make live action versions of The Incredibles and bring them into the
Yeah.
MCU. I would much rather see that than dealing with whatever Fox is. Well, obviously that nonsense is over with now, but to see Hero brought into the MCU would be cool.
Yeah, because the closest that any kind of series has gotten is bringing over the CG character or one of the animated characters from the Clone Wars into Rogue One.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Sol Guerrera is like the closest I feel like that anything like that has happened.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
To
I didn't think of that
cross
one.
those mediums with a same character.
The closest I thought was they animated Vixen for a CW web series, and then they brought Vixen into the Arrowverse in real life. That's the closest I could think of.
Okay, if we're being realistic, because I know there's somebody out here who's just going to tell me, technically Harley Quinn from the Batman animated series being brought over into the Suicide Squad.
But that's not the same universe. That's just a character.
Not the same universe,
over,
no.
Right. Yeah,
right.
We're
but
specifically
I wanted to clarify
okay.
that I was thinking of that.
And then, so yeah, having Baymax be the secret weapon in Infinity War. The reason they can't do this is the same reason they can't bring Coulson back into the movie universe, because the normies would be confused. Who's that white marshmallow guy? I don't get it. I'm just here.
He wasn't part of my stuff.
Where's
before.
Iron Man? Is he an Iron Man robot? I don't get it.
Good point.
Yeah, and then finally I got a tweet here from, what is it? I can't read the name. It's all numbers. 7262626. There you go. Whatever your name. Thank you. It's a Jeff, if that helps you at all. So it's if it's not you, Jeff. It's a different Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff says
Nobody likes me.
he sees a lot of similarities in Big Hero 6 to the original Teen Titans Go. I'm assuming he doesn't mean the super chibi version that exists now, but the original, more DC animated universe style of Teen Titans. And you know what? He's right. Actually, thinking the bad guy, comparing it to a bad guy from Teen Titans, and the Asian American mix, huh? Huh. That did not dawn on me. Thank you, Jeff. Not you, Jeff. The guy who tweeted Jeff. 7262626. Jeff, not you, Jeff.
So many. I don't know what to say or do.
Of all the movies we've watched in this round of the library, Jeff, where do you place Big Hero 6? So if by chance this is the first time you're listening to an episode, we are watching the movies in chunks of 10 and ranking them 1 through 10. We are in the last 10, which we don't even have 10 to choose from. And
I know.
Jeff, go.
So this one was a little hard for me to decide on, but wasn't super complicated, difficult like many of these films that we've watched in the past. I really like Big Hero 6. Mm-hmm. It's a very fun action film with a lot of great emotional moments, a lot of very funny moments, very well animated bits and pieces in it that it makes it, to me, is an all around good movie, and it ends with a really fun. Oh my goodness! Why am I spacing on the band's name? The Fall Out Boy song.
Oh yeah.
And plus the animation, Immortals. Plus the animation from that during the end credits are fun, and I like this movie. It's a good movie.
I'm glad. I like the closing credit sequence as well. That the sketches of probably like the concept art being used to create that. It's got a great comic book, and you get to see the further adventures. There's one newspaper clipping where it looks like an alien of sorts that they're dealing with, or they're stopping a trolley that's out of control. So you do get to see the further adventures of Big Hero 6, the team. So that's kind of neat.
It's nice that it's not, because it's, there's obviously the concept that they might be able to make another one of these someday, but at the same time, if they don't,
they are going to have a TV series. I am aware that is, if not already happened, something that is going to happen.
Right. I did see that while I was researching this movie, so I was just like, I might have to just check out the TV series sometime soon. I'm kind of curious.
I'll add it to my list.
Exactly. Just add it to the countless list of shows and movies and music albums and stuff I have to do. It's too much good stuff. But where I would place this on my list, that one, like I said, it wasn't super hard to come up with the decision, but it was a little. I had a moment of, oh, it's going to be that. Yes, it's going to be this.
Okay.
So this is my number 2.
Okay.
Because I really love Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is just fun and it's great. It's enjoyable for the ones that we've watched so far. But this is another one of those where it's my number 2, but just by a little bit. Like it just kind of squeaks in under Wreck-It Ralph for enjoyable. I think between the two of them, I'd watch Wreck-It Ralph again because it's just a little more generally fun. General fun. Those of you who know what I'm doing, but like that's the only reason why. That's the only thing that beats it out.
Yeah,
for me, it's not like a giant distance between Winnie the Pooh and Frozen.
Right. So oh yeah. So you're that puts Wreck-It Ralph as your number 1, and Big Hero 6 is your number 2, Winnie the Pooh's 3, and Frozen as your 4th. So as for my order, Wreck-It Ralph is going to solidly stay at number 1, and I'm putting Big Hero 6 as my number 2 as well, which I did not think would happen when I sat down to watch this, because I did have a little bit of ambivalence to Big Hero 6. I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it. It just was a movie I was going to watch. And as it was playing out and realizing just how little I'd looked away from the screen and how much I'd enjoyed the movie as it played out, I realized that, if it really was a matter of watching something that is very significantly a much more contemporary, modern, a more unique Disney film than something like Frozen, which people have heard I like a bit more than Jeff, which is a far more traditional Disney musical and a little too Broadway-y. I'd watch Big Hero 6 before Frozen easily. So Wreck-It Ralph stays at number 1 for the impact that overall movie has on me. But Big Hero 6 is surprisingly going to be my number 2. Surprising for me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I honestly, going into this last round, thought I might put Big Hero 6 at the bottom of this list. And I'm pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did this new time around.
CC, I don't think you and I would have been friends if that happened. No, I kid.
Yeah.
But kind of.
So I am interested to hear what the listeners might have to say about Big Hero 6. I know this wasn't streaming anywhere. Unfortunately, Netflix pulled it before this week of viewing, or this month of viewing. So I do hope that some of you got a chance to watch it again and maybe have a few thoughts of some of the things we brought up here. So certainly hit up Facebook or tweet at us if we missed any conversation points, or let us know. Or I hope some of you are compiling your own lists. One of you is compiling your 56 list. Good luck. But for those of you who might be
crazy person
ranking your round this time, I'm wondering where Big Hero 6 falls for some of you. So. But yeah,
I look forward to hearing it as well, everybody.
That is the end of my notes. There we go. I've done it.
Fantastic. Congratulations, DC. We've done it. You've done it. Mostly I've just sat here and enjoyed myself. That's... Oh, okay. So now we have like a very short time because that has to sync up properly. Otherwise, people are going to freak out.
Get out of here.
So with that, everybody, TC, it was great. Thank you again for joining me, TC. Thanks for everybody for listening.
It is so much fun.
Thanks for everybody leaving the comments. We love doing the show so much. And we are getting close to the end, and it's sad. But 2 more movies and then a final wrap-up episode. So don't worry, folks. We still got a couple more weeks of us in your ear holes. I'm going to call it that.
Well, ear holes, yeah. What's next week?
Yeah. So next week, everybody, is number 55 on our list of films. 2016, so we are jumping a year from release. 2016's Zootopia.
Zootopia. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. And, oh, man, this is going to be a fun one. Yeah. Obviously, no spoilers for the conversation, but this is going to be a good one. And this is currently up on Netflix, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I believe Zootopia and Moana are both up on Netflix. However, at the rate that these movies have been on Netflix, and then it's about time for us to watch them, and then they pull them, I gave up trying to keep track of them anymore.
Well,
it's like, I don't know.
Those out who want to participate, look for that posting next week when we are going to record. Get your comments out about, or any questions you might have for us, and see what we have to say about Zootopia. But that did it. That's it. That's it. We can be heroes.
We can be heroes if just for one day.
Just for
TC,
one day.
go ahead and do the end. That's a completely different song.
All right, thank you,
and
Jeff.
do
Thank
the
you,
outro.
everyone, for listening. This has been a podcast. We have been the people who have been talking. Oh my gosh, I screwed up the Jeff?
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
TC.
You know what happened? My
TC.
earbud fell out, and it totally threw me for a loop. I don't know what to
Oh
do.
no!
What do I do?
What happens now?
What do I
do
do?
we just do? We just fade out? Do we
I don't
just say
know.
goodbye?
No,
Oh,
I'm shouting over the
this-
music. This is me shouting over music.
No.
This has been a podcast. We're the people you've been listening to, and this is a sign off.
Oh, hey, I found a volleyball with a handprint on it floating in the water with me.
Why are we referencing Castaway?
This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.